Yes, sir.
You ready? Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to call the meeting to order. As you know, this was originally scheduled for last Monday, and due to some adverse weather, we had to move the meeting to this afternoon at 5 o'clock. There's something already scheduled this evening here in these chambers, so appreciate you joining us at this, I guess, different time and date. We'll start the meeting with the invocation by Lim Hardison. He is the minister at North Spray Christian Church. That'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by our Sheriff Sam Page. So if y'all would, join me in standing.
We come here near the close of this day to thank you for your love, your blessings, for another day, another year that's upon us. Thank you, Father, for these men who are willing to give of their time, both for meetings and also for activities in the community. We pray for the leading of your Spirit tonight upon all that's done and said, that your will be done for what's best for our county and for the future. And we give you the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Remain standing, Sheriff.
Would everyone please, if you can stand, face the flag, we'll pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Be seated.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Next is a recognition segment of our agenda, and we'll hand that over to the Sheriff's Department. Y'all want to come down, Sheriff?
Mr. Chair, you want to come around?
Yes, sir, please. Want to join them down there?
Yeah, y'all do this. I'm going to stay out of that one.
Frankie.
That looks fine.
Okay.
Alan, you're right on time. Yes. It gives me an honor and a pleasure to be here today. When you've served in law enforcement and public safety for many years, and then you get to that moment when you can retire after serving your county, protecting and serving your citizens, it's a great time. And we're honored to be here. Today we have the opportunity to recognize the commissioners. We have the opportunity to recognize Corporal Frankie Martin. And I'd like to read from the plaque. This is presented to Corporal Franklin L. Martin in recognition and appreciation of 20 years of dedicated service to the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office and to the citizens of Rockingham County, 2001-2021. And I might add, before Frankie came to us, he served 4 years honorably in the United States Air Force. Then he went to work for the Department of Corrections shortly after that, and then came to us for the past 20 years. So it's an honor and a pleasure to work with you, Frankie, all these years. And I want you to understand that even though you're gone, we're going to still be bringing you back for some reserve duty, and possibly if you can help us out, because you've got a lot of experience and skill that helps us and can continue to help us at the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office. I want to thank the commissioners and the county manager for allowing us to recognize you today. And again, on behalf of the staff here, we'd like to give you a hand and say thank you. Frankie, I'd like to present this to you, and do we have a camera handy?
I'm here.
Okay. Do we have the public information officer handy? Okay, come on, Frankie, come on. Yeah. Guys, if y'all come around here, let's.
You want the picture before or after his speech?
No, that's all right. That's all right. All right, come on, Frankie. All right, turn it here, Frankie. That's right. All right, let me. All right, Frankie.
Okay, if I can get, yeah. Let's see. If I can get y'all to come, I'm assuming we're all together. Yeah. Sheriff, I gotta fix my. fix my angles because you're tall.
Okay, so. Okay. Frankie, I'd like to present this to you, and when you served in law enforcement and public safety for many years, and then you get to that moment when you can retire after serving your county, protecting and serving your citizens. I want to thank the commissioners for, and the county managers for allowing us to recognize you today. And again, on behalf of the staff here, we'd like to give you a hand and say thank you.
Jennifer,
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
where's Sharon Hamlin? Is she not
Air Force.
at the time? Yeah, okay. She's not here due to the time of change, so she'll be here another time.
Okay, yes.
She'll be here next
To the
time, right?
commissioners, I just want to make mention of another one of our employees that is also, hey, just one second. Is, oh, there you go, I'm sorry. Okay. Sharon Hamlet has retired from the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office. She served Rockingham County for 29 years. She worked with the Sheriff's Office. She also worked with the Rockingham County 911 Center for several years, and then came back to the Sheriff's Office to finish out. But from December 1st, 2021 to the present, 29-year service. We do have a plaque for Sharon, but she could not be here today. But we want to thank you also for recognizing her, and thank you for your support, everyone's support here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, gentlemen, is approval of today's agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda, or are there any modifications or amendments?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that we accept tonight's agenda with the following modifications. We need to add closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A1 to approve closed session minutes, and A-6 to discuss personnel.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Hall. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Powell. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is the consent agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, the items on the consent agenda are considered non-controversial. If there's any questions about the items on the consent agenda, we ask that you contact the county manager's office. They'll be glad to discuss those matters with you. Do we have any items under the consent agenda that anyone would like to have moved to another part of the agenda? If not, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Travis.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Richardson. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We did have one person sign up for public comment, but I believe they are on their way. So is that, I believe they spoke with your assistant. Is that correct? Okay. It's okay, gentlemen, we can move to Dr. Kinlaw and then come back to this item. So next on the agenda, Dr. Kinlaw. Good afternoon, Dr. Kinlaw.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, and fellow commissioners. And the purpose of me coming to you tonight, let me give you a little background for what we're requesting. It's probably been maybe almost 2 years ago when Lance and I talked about the possibility of some land that the college and the county could agree upon for a driving pad for our basic law enforcement training, fire and rescue training, and other types of driving training that we may want to do or need to do. So we talked about some land right off of Cherokee Road back behind the center here, and just give you a little bit of background for what we're doing currently. Our BLET program now, we are having to use Guilford Technical Community College's driving pad. We've been doing that for years prior to me even arriving. And I've been here 7 years, so I know we've been doing it at least that long and really much longer. And so they're not obligated to continue to allow us to do that. If they wanted to pull the plug on that, they certainly can, but they've been very gracious in allowing us to use their pad. But we really want our own training site so that we can expand what we do and, of course, meet the requirements that our BLET program requires, and also fire and rescue, but really to expand what we're able to do now and become more of a regional training center if we were able to develop the project. But Sheriff Page and I, this past year, worked together with Representative Jerry Carter prior to him passing away to get some money in the state budget for designated for Rockingham Community College for us to have funds for a driving pad and the development of that project. So we were able to secure, he was able to get $2 million in that budget, and Representative Reese Pirtle has worked on that since replacing Representative Carter, who, of course, you know, passed away not long ago. So Reese has been very helpful in finalizing that and making sure that that money was put in the state budget. So that $2 million is in the state budget for us now. We know that's not enough money to cover the project, but it certainly gives us a good start. So what we are asking from the county is for the county to set aside funds for us to be able to, not funds, but land for us, just enough land for us to be able to build the pad. The pad would have to be around 700 feet by 700 feet. It's currently now around 600 by 600, but they are getting ready to expand that from what our understanding is, and so those specs will change. So we would like to build the pad, storage facility, of course, access to get to it, parking facilities, any buffers that may be required for zoning requirements, and then also a small classroom building there. So the issue for us is that we don't know currently how much land we need, but we're just asking for you to set aside enough land for us to be able to do that, or at least to begin a feasibility study. We would advertise for a designer and do a master plan. We would get on that as soon as we are able to get some feedback from you, and as well as if you're positive with it, we're going to take it to our Board of Trustees and move forward with a feasibility study and a master plan. And at that point, we would know exactly how much land we need. So that's our request to you. And I think we have here, if I can pull this up. We've got a picture of it for you that we can show. So we, let's see. There we go. This is the tract of land, I believe, that we are showing. And then we can show a little bit, zooming in a little bit, but this is the land that we have talked to. Lance and Ronnie Tate has also been involved in these discussions, but this is what we're talking about right off of Cherokee Road. So that's our request of you tonight. Be glad to try to answer any questions. Tommy Gunn is also with me, of course, in charge of all our facilities and our capital projects, and he can answer questions as well and really talk more about how the design piece would go and the master plan process would go.
Mr. Chair.
Questions? Commissioner Hall.
Yes, so we're just looking at a feasibility study. This is not final approval for anything, is that correct?
Correct.
So it would come, once this design is done, we would then have the ability to see the final project before we approve?
Yes. This is just a request so we would know you're willing to set aside the land for this, and then we would proceed more with the feasibility study, and then, yes, we would be able to show you that, and it would show you the specifics and what we would do there and exactly how much land we would need to make the project go.
Any other questions? And tonight, do we need a motion to approve?
Motion to approve for them to proceed with their study, because they'll have to spend some money from the community college to get this process going.
What's your turnaround time on the feasibility study?
Do you want to answer that?
We'll be going to our trustees later this month for approval. We'll be advertising statewide for a designer, hopefully have a feasibility study 6 to 9 months.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Travis?
Mr. Chairman, I need clarification. It says 53.5 acres. Are we approving for them to have 53.5 acres, or we're just letting them, that's the most they can get? What are we trying to say here?
What they're asking for, this is the site that they identified as where they want to look to build the pad. So what you're allowing them to do is proceed with doing a study for that particular area right there. It could be 20 acres, it could be whatever the acreage comes back. But once they get the study done, they'll be able to come back with you guys exactly what they need.
The 53 acres coming back is what you're going to need?
I don't think we'll need that much, but I don't know until we do a master plan to see what it would require. But Randolph Community College has 50 acres, has theirs on 50 acres, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to. But we're not going to know that until we do a master plan and can see exactly what we
Right, and I think
what we'll need.
GTCC has theirs on 26 acres?
I don't know. That's something that we'll also do as part of our feasibility study is we will also look at other community colleges and see what they have.
So we're just approving for them to proceed, not giving them any land?
At this point,
Okay.
yes, sir.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I think, Mr. Chair, I think that was a good question. The 53 is what's in this plot. It's probably well in excess of what we need, and if you do the math and you come up with 490,000 square feet for the 700 by 700, that's like 12 acres. So how they site it will impact how much total is used.
Yeah, I'm good.
Any other questions? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Travis,
I'll second that.
second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Very much for the support.
And then I think the lady that signed up for public speaking is now here, so we'll go back to that part of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, before you proceed, since Dr. Kinlaw's here, do we know when they're going to come back to us to give us an update on the projects?
On this project?
No, the
Workforce Development.
Workforce Center. Since he's here, I'd just like to know. Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman.
And I sent out the updated timeline to you guys on the email earlier, or just almost at closing time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so as Miss Sarah Carter comes down, I believe before you get started, our manager will read out the rules for public comment.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to present any matter pertaining to county business on or items of the Board of Commissioners' agenda. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the Board of Commissioners and not to staff, the audience, or media. The chairperson has opened the public comment period. Any speaker who wishes to speak shall approach the podium and not speak from his or her seat, which you're the only one. Each speaker shall clearly state his or her name and physical address when they approach the podium. You should be allotted 3 minutes to speak unless you have someone else here to yield your time. Your time will be displayed on the monitor in front of you. The time clock will start with 3 minutes unless yielded time to 6 minutes. You will hear a beep at 1 minute to alert you to wrap up your comments. If you are to yield your time or time is yielded to you, then please let the chairman know in advance. You will not be allowed to campaign for public office, promote private business ventures, or use language of a personal nature which insults or demeans any person or which, when directed at a public official, is not related to his or her official duties. You can submit any comments to the county manager's office.
Thank you. Thank you for being kind enough to organically insert my 3 minutes. I drive a young student back and forth to Greensboro so she can stay in Rockingham County High School, and so I was getting back a little late from dropping her off, so I appreciate that. I do want to say that my ancestor was a patriot, fought in the Revolutionary War. I've got judges and soldiers in my mom's side in the past history, and I do love my country. I do abide by the Constitution as best as I can and the law as best as I can. I'm also a taxpayer here in the county. My address is 821 Rocky Ford Road, Reedsville. So I kind of feel like this is an awesome time in the 3 minutes to really be able to share with you guys things that are going on with the county and the business that's in it revolving around constitutional law. And I'm not an attorney, but constitutional law and rights. We need to know those to be able to abide by them. One of those rights that we have is the right to redress grievances, is the right to have these 3 minutes and come up and share with you guys. In October, you had a young woman come up and begin to share with you her redress of grievances, and she was stopped, not because she had something that was vitally important not to share, but because there was a misunderstanding in how the sharing should go. In child welfare cases and child welfare law, if you want to research it through the School of Government, we do not have confidentiality on parents that are trying to redress grievances. We have the confidentiality on government agents who are dealing with those families because it's the job of the agent, the government agencies, to respect the privacy and the rights of the families, Now, when a family comes forward and says, these are the issues, maybe you can address them because you guys are responsible for training and supervision of the social workers and Department of Social Services. That needs to be something that you guys are like, well, as long as we're not discussing the details of your case and you have ideas, let's hear them. That's your position. When you stand up and give that pledge to the flag, that you will give justice and equality, or at least commit to it for yourself. It does need to be for everyone. We do need to be able to come to you guys and say, hey, here's what we're dealing with. Can we fix that? So I do appreciate the 3 minutes that you gave me and the time that you inserted into the meeting, and thank you for your time.
And moving down, then item number 9 on the agenda is Mr. Ronnie Tate.
Good evening, gentlemen. I have 2 items tonight for your consideration. And the first one is for board approval of Cities Plumbing and Pools Incorporated as the contractor for the Carlton Road Waterline Extension Project. Their bid was $302,400. I'm requesting approval of $332,640. That's a 10% contingency added to that bid, and to allow the county manager to approve change orders up to $50,000 without board approval, as you've done in the past. And this water line extension is to serve a new subdivision called Levington Subdivision. It's a project by Roy Carroll's residential group. We've been working with their engineering company, getting them specifications for design for the water system inside of the subdivision as well as the wastewater system. So when they come online, they will be not only a water customer, but also a wastewater customer, which is doubly good for the county. The wastewater portion of it, since it's a force main out of that subdivision, will be constructed by the developer, not by the county, because it serves only that development. And I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Have any questions for Mr. Tate?
This is the extension, excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
This is the extension to get the water line to the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been working with their engineers, and or Bill Lester has coordinated a point of intersection for us and them for the water line connection.
Well, the reason I brought it up, because you mentioned they're coordinating throughout the development too, but what we're approving is to run to the property line.
Yes, sir, that is correct. Nothing inside the subdivision. That's up to the developer.
Good. Very good. Thank you, Mr.
Yep.
Chair.
Yes, sir. Mr. Richardson.
Mr. Tate, what's the estimate for water consumption and wastewater disposal in gallons?
So there's a couple of different answers to this. When Bill submits it, LKC Engineering submits the permits to DEQ, they submit them based on between 200 and 250 gallons a day per home. Our actual usage, I monitor this. I check it about every 2 or 3 months and go and look at what the actual usage is by residential customers on our system, and it equates between 130 to 150 gallons a day. So, but for reporting purposes and permitting purposes, it's 200 to 250 gallons a day. If you Google it, Google says 400 gallons a day. So there's.
I thought everybody would be interested in the water consumption. Thank you.
Mr. Travis.
Ronnie, quick question. This seems like it ain't a far water line that we're running, so are we putting any fire hydrants in along the way?
I don't think so, Commissioner Travis, because I think they're already on place on 220, and this is cutting across an easement with the, there is a service station where the old Huddle House used to be in the car wash.
Yeah,
the gentleman that owns that granted us an easement to cut across his property.
Okay.
It's going on to Carlton Place Road, I think, and cuts across there, and then that subdivision is right there at the corner of that.
Right, I understand. I went out there over the weekend and looked at it, but I've noticed that we're running a lot of water lines out in that area, so are we having a plan in place to put these fire hydrants in? Because one of my biggest concerns is with all this development going on, that we're falling behind on our actual infrastructure for like fire departments, EMS, and stuff like that. So, which building homes and development is wonderful. I think it's great for the county, but if you don't have the infrastructure in place to cover all these additional homes, then we got problems.
So the lines that we install, this one excluded, typically have hydrants included in them. They do,
Okay.
if the line's long enough. And inside the subdivision, those lines are up to the developer to develop to our standards, which includes them having hydrants as well. And so as part of the review process for this, when planning and zoning gets the final plat, it will go to TRC committee. We review those. The local fire departments are part of that review process. They review for hydrants as well. So there's a couple of different sets of eyes on it for that one particular item. And they have to meet our standards for fire protection in these subdivisions.
I understand. I'll talk to you afterwards. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any further questions? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Travis.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Powell. All in favor? Let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. Any opposed? You've got another item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The second one is consideration and approval for a budget for Phase 1 of BELEWS Lake Park project. And you should have in your packet, I had addressed a memo to the county manager back in December outlining the two options available. We've talked about these at previous meetings. And so the two items or the two options for your consideration tonight is option one is to use a permanent toilet facility similar to the one located at Chinkapin Trail. The year one cost for that option is $93,320. Option two is using portable toilets at the site, and the year one cost for that is $73,230. And so with what we're looking at doing at the park, we need the board to approve which option they want to proceed with. And I think in your packet, there is a large picture. It shows the general location of where those facilities are, and also one that shows the outline of the parking lot, and this one, it shows the outline of the parking lot and where those that general common area would be too. So,
And when he means year one, year two, it's not ongoing costs, it's the startup cost, 93 or 73. And you've already approved all the other stuff, so in essence tonight, either A, porta potties, or B, a permanent bathroom there. That's the two options that you'll consider tonight.
I have a question. The porta potties will be an ongoing cost every year, right? What about what is the cost for the permanent facility after year one? Do we have a cost for that?
That facility requires, it has to be pumped out, and my understanding from reading online about the product, it's once every 3 or 4 years. So I think I included like $500 of ongoing costs for that to have it pumped out. But you put wood chips into it, into the waste, and that's what handles the waste, so to speak. But it has to be pumped out on occasion, yes.
But now the porta potties, they have to be pumped out every month or every 2 weeks or something?
Yes, yeah, they would require regular maintenance, yes, sir.
And is that more or less than maintaining the permanent facility? Do you know?
Hold on, let me pull that up. It's going to be more because, let's see, the portable toilets are $160 a month rental and maintenance.
Okay.
The prefab or the permanent toilets All right, it's $500 for pumping every 2 years, so it's $250 a year in ongoing maintenance.
And just to clarify, if the board wanted the staff's recommendation would be to put a permanent facility out there, much like the one you have at Chinkapin, for less maintenance per year.
So it's more upfront cost, but less maintenance in the long run.
Any further questions? Commissioner Hall?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. These maintenance costs, who will be bearing the responsibility? Is that going to be us or the college?
For what
For the
part?
maintenance of the restrooms and the parking lot areas?
That's a county, that'll be a county maintenance.
Is the college, as they develop the trails, they'll maintain those trails?
Yes, sir. That is my understanding. RCC has agreed to maintain the trails.
And just for clarification, we had talked to the community college about it. It's either the county do it or the community college does, and I think we're working with the community college to look at the common areas as well.
Well, and Dr. Kinlaw is still here, and he's shaking his head yes, so.
They do. We talked to them about adjusting their budget, so it's either. I mean, we'd prefer that community college do it. So.
Okay. All right.
Right.
What he just said, they're going to pay for it.
Well, they'll handle it. I don't mind if we adjust their budget, but they would handle the administratively, they'd handle getting it done.
That's a no-brainer then.
Yeah.
Any further questions? No? Then do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we go with option 2 for $93,320.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hall. Do we have a second?
I'm sorry, option 2 is $73,230 according to my document here. That's for the.
It's crossed up on one sheet, it's option 2. On the spreadsheet, it's option 2.
Okay.
The permanent restrooms at
Okay.
$93,000.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. My apologies. Yeah.
My second is for the permanent restrooms on.
Thank you.
It's for the permanent one.
So we have a motion and a second for the permanent facilities. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
And Derek Southern.
I didn't ask this question. Figures from Chinkapin.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm here to present a plan for putting mobiles in for the inspectors, very similar to the projects that we did for EMS and the sheriff's cars. Their current workload in their trucks only allows them to use hotspots and iPads, which does leave some of their job functions where they're unable to accomplish that. And they also are running into areas throughout the county where their coverage is poor or their signal is not adequate for them to do their job. By putting the mobile devices in the cars, it increases the antennas and a more stable connection to allow them to update inspections while on site at the job sites, which is your desired goal, so we get the responses back to the citizens faster. But this is the same equipment that is currently in the sheriff's cars and the project that we're putting in the EMS vehicles.
Question.
Question by Commissioner Richardson.
Would this not also benefit our inspectors as far as their requiring less time?
There is the potential for less time. If they're able to accomplish all their tasks in the field, it would be less time they would have to spend in the offices, yes.
Commissioner Hall.
Yes, so this is equipment that the county is already familiar with. It's a proven product. It's not an experimental product. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's correct. It is, actually, the models are different than what we have in the sheriff's equipment. It's just the next generation, but it is equipment that we're familiar with and supporting already. And just so you are aware, it does have an ongoing maintenance cost with that of approximately $5,000 per year once the project is up and running, that would be budgeted through the inspection department.
I'll second.
I believe we do have a motion, Commissioner Powell, motion to approve.
Yes.
Okay, and second by Commissioner Travis. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Have any items of new business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is Commissioner comments. Commissioner Travis? Okay, Commissioner Powell?
Just want to say that I am encouraged to see us getting this equipment for the inspectors, and hopefully within the next 6 or 8 months, we'll have this so that general contractors can check their permit applications, make their permit applications, and check their inspections on the computer at their desk in their office instead of having to call or either come to Wentworth. So we're moving that department in the right direction. So I thank you for your hard work on that, to the county manager and to Derek as well.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Hall?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Dr. Kinlaw and Dr. Gunn, for being here tonight. We appreciate you guys with the looking forward and exploring other opportunities to expand the college. It's a great gym here in Wentworth, and we feel very fortunate to have the college here, so we appreciate you guys very much. And with that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Richardson?
A couple of things. First of all, I'd like to recognize Sheriff Page for being here tonight, and we have, I believe, 3 of our department heads are here. We don't pay them overtime for that, but we appreciate you being here. I do have some information from the health department, the Rockingham County Health Department, indicating that there are multiple places within the county to get COVID testing done, 3 of which are Walgreens. And also these Walgreens, there are 2 in Reedsville, both of those in Reedsville, the one on Van Buren in Eden, also Carswell Family Medical Center, Optimum Serve Centers in Wentworth is available, and Cone Health at Annie Penn, of course, in Reedsville, Quest Diagnostics in Reedsville, and Eden Drug in Eden, Mitchell Discount Drug in Eden. And though the cost of this varies from place to place, and you can still use the county facility, which is still in operation here in Wentworth, for public information, this is available. And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. And again, I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. It was a little bit different time just due to some circumstances beyond our control. And I believe our next meeting is next Monday at the regularly scheduled time here in our chambers. We do have a matter to go into closed session.
Actually, it's going to be on the Tuesday because of Martin Luther King holiday, so it's going to be on the 18th. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes, okay. So not a regularly scheduled time, but on Tuesday of next week. We will be going into closed session. I don't know if we'll have anything after that.
Hopefully, we'll have some action.
May have a little something. Are we going to do that in here, or are we going into the other room?
I suggest doing it here if we can.
Okay. All right, so do we have a motion to go into closed session pursuant to 143-31811A1 to approve minutes and A6 to discuss personnel?
So moved.
All right, have a motion by Commissioner Hall, second by Commissioner Richardson. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye.
Aye.
So we, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good? Okay. All right, we have returned from closed session, and we do have one item of business from closed session.
You
Believe.
want me to make the motion?
Okay, Commissioner.
You got it written down, or?
We'll hand it over to Lance.
Okay.
Thank you. The motion would be to allow the county to offer the DSS, current DSS director up to a 25... Attorney, up to 25% increase in salary, and give the county manager the authority to advertise and negotiate for a new attorney for the DSS department.
So, I make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Travis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Richardson. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any further business?
No, sir.
Have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Powell, second by Commissioner
I got it.
Travis.
Okay.
All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.